Hi, my name is Joseph Yu. I am a Korean American, and I was born here in America in Fontana, California. And so around 5 or 6, my dad decided to leave us. And I have one older brother, and he's 7 years older than I am. I'm 37 right now, so he's 7 years older. So when my dad left, he didn't tell me, but he bought me one of those little scooters that you kick, and he gave it to me one morning, and he said, follow me down the street. And so I was followed him down the street. He had this yellow van, and I was just following him, and he was driving extra slow. And I didn't know why. And I followed him for 2 whole blocks. And later, I realized that was the last time that I would ever see my father again. And no one ever knew this, but growing up at that age, all my friends had their dads around. I was going to Loma Academy, and it seems like everyone has a great family there, and I didn't have a father. And my mom was like working double shifts, overtime, just to make the ends meet. She paid the house, the cars, the bills, everything. But in order for her to do that, she had to be at the hospital. Basically, I'd go to school, come home, and take care of myself. I had an older brother, and he did what he could, but with him being 7 years older, he was busy with his own life. So I remember for a long time, I would come home, and I would lock the door to my room, and I would just cry. Cry because I miss my dad, and I just didn't think it was fair. I felt life wasn't fair. So, I keep on trucking. My mom does the best for us. And I get into high school, and I was, I got good grades. I was a really straight edge kid. If you did drugs, I'd cut you out of my life. I wouldn't even talk to you. The stresses of life were getting to me, and so I decided to smoke my first joint. And from then on, I graduated high school in 1995. I tried. I was a pre-med major, went to PUC, and I started getting into the hard drugs. And at that time, methamphetamine. So we were at PUC, and I introduced some of my buddies to methamphetamine. And the thing about it was, we were able to pull off the good grades. We were able to do it and be under the radar. And for many years, we honestly believed like this is the best thing ever. Well, at PUC, spring break was coming up. I had my little group clique of friends. I'd go home, come back to Loma Linda for spring break. When I get back, all my friends that I were hanging out with were facing 7 years at San Quentin. That still didn't stop me from using drugs. So, I do college, I say, I come back, I'm here, I come back to Southern California, La Sierra. I start dabbing in everything, ecstasy, heroin, OxyContin, Roxy's, and I did it all. I was doing something called Xanax, which is anti-anxiety drug, mixed with somas, and took that, downed it with the beer, was driving, maybe 12 o'clock at night, fell asleep, and I hit a boulder that was, really, really big, head on, hit it going 60 miles an hour, hit it, and the car flipped like this, and all I remember was the sound of crunching metal flying by my face. It's the most awful sound you could imagine, and I that's all I remember. And then the next thing I remember was seeing a bunch of these metal, like a metal roof with like a bunch of grooves. And I hear someone saying, no, we have a pulse. The thing is I don't know why I am not dead, because I have gotten in a total of 7 car accidents. All 7 of those cars have been totaled. So I really died, and I'm back here. And the other 7 car accidents are almost nearly as bad. I have all my arms, I have all my legs. I flipped off a cliff, and I'm still here. And when the devil had me pinned down, I actually thought the best option for me was to commit suicide. And I took 300 pills, downed it, and I called Pastor Meshach, and I say, Meshach, this is it. Thank you for everything you've done, but I can't do this any longer. And I hung up the phone. I felt this darkness come over me, but I'm still not dead. A pastor, Pastor Meshach Soli, was so concerned about me. He said, you know what? I want you to come to a men's concrete conference. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. He's like, just come. And I'm like, he goes, just do me a favor and come. I said, okay, I'll do that. Well, when the time comes, I really don't want to go. And I tell him I'm sick, and I got a broken leg or whatever. And he's like, Joe, you're coming dead or alive. So he comes, picks me up, we go. And the whole motto on that men's concrete conference that weekend was, do not wait to get right before you come to Christ. Come to Christ and He will get you right. And I'm there, and I'm a drug addict, and I'm fiending drugs, and I'm wondering what I'm doing there. But that weekend did something to me, and I took the plunge, and I got baptized that weekend. And that was my first step in taking my step towards Christ. And then, after that, the devil came at me, not 10 times harder, not 20 times harder, 100 times harder. I relapsed, and I was taking a anti-anxiety drug called Xanax. I was taking 30 times the recommended dose every 4 hours. So if you do that for years or even months, and you try to stop cold turkey, your brain goes haywire. And I thought I was in the Korean War. I thought I was a pilot. I lost it. Doctors thought I was not going to come out of it. All of a sudden, my wife, my kids, everything is just falling apart around me. About to lose my house. Can't pay for the house. My car is about to get repossessed. Everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. So I'm in my room, and I'm so hopeless. I don't even feel God. Matter of fact, I'm angry with God. I'm like, God, where are you? And in my room, it's just me in my room, and I'm fiending, for my next hit of Xanax just to get me sane. I'm challenging God. I'm upset with God, and I'm like, God, you don't care about me. You don't hear me. Matter of fact, I bet you're not even listening to me right now. I said, if you're listening to me right now, make this phone ring right now. The phone rang. I was in complete shock. I turned my iPhone around to see the caller ID. It's the drug dealer for the Xanax. And it hit me like that. I said, Joe, I've been here this whole time. I've been wanting to help you, but you haven't chosen it yet. 7 car accidents, trying to kill myself. All this, devil's coming at me. There's a reason I'm here. So I'm like, God, show me. Not only has God kicked my addictions, when you chase the cross, everything in your life will change. Even though what you may think, God may close a door and God doesn't care, He has your best interest in hand. Because that door closed, another one opened that I never thought ever would open. And this new opportunity is definitely from God. Say this prayer. Say, God, Just give me the will to watch. And bam, you'll see what happens. That's my testimony. God bless you. And if this helps one person, it's all worth it. God bless.